And now we go back to a top story where coast-based journalists are this morning set to hold demonstration to protest harassment and the hostile working environment. They're expected to present their petition to Coast Regional Coordinator Nelson Marwa. Earlier, these journalists also protested over increased harassment and killing of journalists. The demo in Mombasa also comes in the wake of unresolved mysterious death of a Standard Group reporter, Joseph Masha, who collapsed and died at his Kilifi home. We'd like now to cross over to a reporter, John Juma, John Juma, thank you for joining us this morning. Just to update us, what exactly journalists in Mombasa are protesting about and possibly what they would like to achieve after handing over their petition?
Thank you, Mike Gitonga. Quite a number of issues that have pushed journalists in Mombasa and Coast Region to carry out this demonstration. You've mentioned quite a number of them. We know of harassments, we know of threats, we know of mysterious deaths. Joseph Masha, the Kilifi-based journalist by the Standard newspaper, being the latest. And even the post-mortem could not reveal exactly what happened, and the case was referred to South Africa. So journalists here just want to convey a message that the world must not keep quiet when journalists are suffering, when journalists are being intimidated, when journalists die mysteriously. Remember, journalists have always been on the forefront, highlighting plights of different people, different professions. But unfortunately, the world has always remained quiet when matters touching on journalists. And just next to me here, allow me to engage one of the journalists here, Maureen Modi. Thank you very much, Maureen. At the end of the day, at the end of this demonstration, what are we trying to achieve?
Thank you so much, Juma. We are having a peaceful procession from Uhuru Gardens in the next few minutes up to Uhuru Nakazi building. We are going to present a petition to the Coast Coordinator, Mr. Marwa, Nelson Marwa. Basically, we are going to talk about the various intimidations, threats, and even unresolved murder cases that have been going on in the Coast region. Of particular interest is of the latest case we had of Joseph Masha. He died, and until now, as we speak, there's no conclusive report over the postmortem that was conducted. So we just want the authorities to come in and to help us into resolving some of these matters and to ensure that the press freedom is guaranteed according to the Constitution.
Do you think journalism is under threat in Coast Region and Kenya at large?
Yes, there's shrinking space of the journalism industry, and so we definitely need to act and we need to talk about it.
Gitonga, that's just one of the journalists here. Remember, we have cases of journalists who've been admitted in a hospital having been beaten seriously by security officers and other individuals in this country. But no concrete conclusion has come out. Investigations have not yielded anything. My friend here, Francis Ontoma, good morning, brother.
Good morning, Juma.
What do you want to convey to the world?
Well, indeed, Juma, today is a very, very sad day for the media fraternity here in the Coast Region, because we are actually looking back to the ills that have happened in this industry. And we can actually number a lot of events that have happened here, that have actually touched on the lives of journalists down here. Talking of intimidation, harassment, unexplained death, and it has been a string of them. Of course, the latest one being the Joseph Masha case in Kilifi. Those are some of the issues that the media industry here in Mombasa, in the Coast Region entirely, actually wants to air and say that they have to be resolved, they have to be cleared, and the state perhaps need to explain some of these things, Juma.
Michael Gitonga, if you read some of our placards, say that reporters deserve to return home safely after their duties, and they should not return home in coffins or limping because of harassments or beatings. Unless you have any question, we'll be updating you on this procession, which is scheduled to end at Uhuru Nakazi building, presenting their petition to the Coast Regional Coordinator, Nelson Marwa. Back to you, Gitonga.
Yeah, Juma, before you go, just a question. And given that these protests are only in Mombasa, are you suggesting that journalists in Mombasa are harassed more than journalists elsewhere? Or is this a representation possibly that you're doing for the nation? All right. right, John Juma, I don't know if you can hear me. I'll ask you the question again. And given that the protests are mainly in Mombasa, are you suggesting as journalists that in Mombasa you're facing more harassment, or are you doing this as a representative for the whole nation? Juma.